We're back like we never left. This is the CCA podcast. I am Q France. As always, behind the scenes, my boy John McLeod. And we are sponsored by Pushing Weight. Of course, please go to pushingweight.com to pick up all your fitness needs, including apparel and equipment. Use promo code QFrance every time you make a purchase. And today on the show, we have a good friend of mine from day one, my brother Edward Checo, the founder of the global phenomenon that is BarStarz, representing. What's happening, Ed?
Always appreciate you, Q. Day one, man, for real.
Man,
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that intro to play. I'm here like, oh snap, they created this. So it feels good to see like old collages put together that I didn't create. So it's like, wow, that's dope.
Oh, well, you got to watch out for what you say, because anything you say today, I might find the old footage of it and put it up later on. Bro, man, first of all, how you been? How's the family through COVID, through everything? How's everything going, man?
I've been good. I've been relatively happy. Since COVID, I stopped my podcast. We used to have a spot down in the World Trade Center at the Spotify office, and I wanted you on for a while,
Yeah.
and the COVID came and they stopped. They pretty much stopped all that, and it slowly opened up again. But since then, I've just been traveling a little bit, so I haven't really gotten back to it. Uh, yeah, my family luckily hasn't really gotten it, and I've been playing it really, safe. I wear the mask. I keep my distance and everything. I know sometimes it ain't cool, but I live by it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to maintain. I mean, because I think everybody that were skeptical about it has experienced it in some form or fashion, to the point where you know that this thing is here and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So better to be safe than sorry. Please believe me. So let's get to you, man. So BarStarz, right? I remember when BarStarz first came out, immediately it was greeted with not open arms. Like, everybody was like, "Who? How dare you call yourself a bar star?" and at that moment in time, so like, just run through me what made you start it, who was there in the beginning, and please tell me if Big John is still around.
All right. So what made me start it was I was huge in calisthenics at the time. I was young. I was probably like, let's say 18, 19, 20, around there. And me, John, and Tony. So these are John is a childhood friend from high school. I probably met him when I was like 14. And then Tony was his friend. And they was like getting me into the gym because I just started getting into trouble, and I wanted to change my life around, and they're like, and I haven't seen them since for a while. So, our hobbies completely changed. I hit him up to hang out. He's like, yo, let's hit the gym. And I was like, okay. I was really big into calisthenics my whole life since I was a child. But like the gym was something I never was. It was always out of reach because back in the day, Bally Total Fitness was like $60 a month, and even then, like I signed up and I got tricked into some contract, But I wanted to be down. I was embarrassed to say that, like I couldn't afford it. John had a membership, Tony, so I forced it, and I probably defaulted somewhere along the way. But yeah, so we got into calisthenics heavy, and we started off at the gym. Then we moved to the park, and we learned all these YouTube videos. So you heard about stuff like bartenders, and you meet people that could do typewriters and stuff. So you already knew about the culture, but like when you got to YouTube, it was like, holy shit, this is big, and that's something I didn't know. Before that, I thought it was just like, oh, he's the man over here. You see where he go over to pull up with the legs out. And so going on YouTube, so I think the first time ever I was in John's house, and we were watching This Is 50, thisis50.com. And it was the bartenders ripped from Sub-Zero with the Metaphysics, Giant, Beast, Prophecy, that little segment. And I was just like, holy shit. So I was like, yo, it's pretty dope. And inspired me. Like, I didn't have a computer at the time, so I tried to hustle to get a computer. I hit up friends. A friend helped me build one, and we were meeting people and getting all these random pieces. And I finally get a computer, get on the internet, finally learn how to YouTube, and I finally get to like delve into this world of like, holy shit, it's like crazy calisthenics. And most of it, 95% of it was here in New York. And it wasn't like it is now. You type in calisthenics and a million videos come up. Back then it was like, it was a drought. Like, you'll catch a video every 3 months, and every time it was just like, holy shit, some cool ass shit. So that's and then so I started seeing the videos of all the crews hanging out. So it was like Highlanders, Barbarians, Harlem Seals, and Beast Mode, and they would do like these meetups. I was like, holy shit! So there's at first you know bartenders and Rough Riders, but then you see like there's a bunch of these, but then you look and it was like, oh, these they're in Harlem or they're in Brooklyn, they're in everyone was really far. And we're like, yo, do we have something like this uptown? So we started scouring parks again, me, John, and Tony, and it was just, it was lacking uptown up here. So
Right.
I was like, hey, we should start our own thing. So I came up, I hired someone to make a logo. I came up with a name, and it went from there. I just started. Oh, I got like my pops lent me $200. I bought a little camera. I learned how to edit. And that's it. That's where it took off right there on 191st for Wash.
Now, I remember the first time I saw you interview with, I think it was Tech, when because for everybody doesn't know, like when they first came out, the whole bar world, well, some of them anyway, well, didn't like the name and was like, who like they thought that they didn't earn the name as BarStarz, right? And the story that I got was that Beast had a talk with you and said, "You're a grown man. You can do whatever you want." It was like you getting the green light, and then seeing a video with you and Tech just talking about who you guys were and everything else, and that prompted me to come uptown to meet you guys, and it's been a great friendship ever since. Like I just went up there with my son, and I was like, "Yo, I just want to meet you guys, like see what you guys are about." And then we made a video, and that was it, man. That was the start of the friendship. So, how did it feel to know that like the community that you were trying to be involved in was already pushing you back, was saying that you have to do this and you have to do that?
Yeah. I mean, like at the time I didn't see it, but I could see now looking back how some people felt, because I came out like aggressive, like, a Bar Stars. I mean, I think the name is like whatever, you can't tell anyone about the name. So it's like that was some bullshit. I'm sorry, the PG-13. But like the fact that like, I used to comment on videos and I had like I was very out there. And so I understand how some people could have took that the wrong way. Like I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I was more like bigging myself up. I'm like, yo, me and my people is nice, but I could see how that could be misinterpreted. And people did reach out. So John used to work out at Planet Fitness at 225th. He ran into Hero from the Bronx Bartenders. They were really cool, and they were really supportive. And then yeah, Beast called John as well, and he also was like super supportive. And yeah, he pretty much he summed it up. And yeah, like I mean, it was kind of weird because like uh, I got to YouTube, let's say 2008, late 2008, early 2009, and then it's like, yo, some of these people I was watching their videos and I was like, they don't like me. It's like, like shit. So, uh, I mean, like it was disappointing, but it didn't really slow me down. I felt like or whatever. It's your opinion. You're
Right.
entitled to it. Even to this day, you're entitled to your own opinion.
And then the best thing you did was actually you guys showed up, you built your team even bigger, and started showing up to these events and started competing. And I don't remember a single competition where it wasn't the BarStarz show at some point in time. Like Juan wasn't doing something crazy, you wasn't doing something crazy. That video that I posted with when you had the girl on your neck doing dips, I don't think anybody's even attempted that again in a competition. That was a risky move. That was an all or nothing move. And then so you guys, by showing up to every competition and showing that you're here to compete and here to represent and putting out quality content, show that you were here to stay, regardless if you like it or not. And immediately after that, like I always said that I used to be up at 2 o'clock in the morning looking at videos and would look into the comments and I would see your comment and it would be like minutes after, like before mine. I was like, yo, is he up? And I was like, message like, what you doing up? And like the same thing you doing up. So, did you literally go searching for everybody doing a pull up or something on YouTube? Because like that's what I did, right? Like I went to see who else was doing it, and like I said, I saw that you were doing exactly the same thing. So was it exactly that?
Yeah, I was obsessed. So probably not pull up, or maybe even pull ups. You know, it's too. I don't even remember, but definitely I was on YouTube for several hours a day. Like, and there was no Instagram back then. There was not like YouTube. It was YouTube, and I mean, I don't know if Facebook probably was around, but it wasn't popping for me.
Yeah, I know
So it was.
MySpace was like going out at the time.
Yeah, exactly. So YouTube was the it place, and especially for calisthenics, for like what we did, all you did was find it on YouTube. So I'd be on YouTube, and again, the content was so like, I guess, infrequent. You know that if anyone did calisthenics, like right now, it's probably like 100 calisthenic videos uploaded a day. At the time, if you got one new one a day, you'd have to separate it from like 15, 16 different channels that, hopefully they upload. I remember being like a fan and just being like, damn, I wish I could see more videos. Why are they releasing videos every 3 months?
Right.
And that's something I kept in mind when I started BarStarz. I was like, nah, I'm releasing mad videos.
Now, and you reached out to a lot of the international people, which was something that like most of the people on the East Coast wasn't even doing. Like when you had your team was literally just the people around you, but you reached out to many different countries and build the BarStarz name in other countries. Like there's BarStarz in Italy and all of these places. Now, when you connected with these people, was it as simple as, do you want to represent us? Or do you have like a guideline for them to actually get like the shirts and the material and something they had to go by if they're going to represent your team?
Yeah, every situation was different, but I wasn't really actively recruiting. There was people that would be like, people that enjoyed the videos because, yeah, like New York had its own culture, but when you go online, you have this whole online culture of people that you feel like just from YouTube comments. I mean, I think people feel that to this day. Like people that if you only interacted with, you never even met them, but you interact on Instagram and you feel like, yo, if I see this person, mad cool people, I want to go out with him, chill ass dude, whatever, And that was the same case. It was just like this person lived in Italy or this person lived in Ukraine or whatever it was. We had to set requirements at some point. It was just straight muscle ups and like some type of freestyle. But yeah, we haven't kept up with it. It's more like a philosophy and a system more now.
Now, was there any complications? Because knowing that like the BarStarz name was being used by so many different people over, I know at one point there were people changing your logo, but still representing you. Like, and I remember you mentioning to me that was like something you had to start to realize and start to like let them know that they can't just go and run with the name and use it however they want it. Was that a major problem, or it was just like a one case situation?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say it was a major problem. I mean, you're just so limited what you could do, So realistically, yeah, no one should do anything with your logo, whatever, But imagine hiring a lawyer in France. It's like it's not reasonably feasible. I remember there was like a dude selling BarStar phone cases on eBay, but not in the American eBay, on the UK eBay. So if I went to eBay, I wouldn't see it. But then Issa from Germany was hanging out, and she had a BarStarz case. And I'm like, oh, where you got that? She told me. I was like, what the fuck? I've never seen that in my life. And then, like you had to like VPN to get there. And it was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate, but there's only so much you could realistically do. I'm not out here like Nike. And at some point, like I went to Mexico, right? And a lot of dudes had like homemade BarStar shirts. And like, I couldn't be mad at that. That was just like from the heart. I was just like, dang, like these people were so like in love, just like I was. And they just couldn't even afford the shirt, so they made it at home. Like it was pull up or shut up with like it looked like, I don't know, he cut something out and put it on the shirt. And I was just like, yo, there's no way I could be mad at that. Like that's like a tremendous amount of love.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And like you said, most teams in New York had requirements and things like that you had to do before you get in the shirt, except for maybe like bartenders, they were giving out shirts. But I know for a fact that people that reached out to me just because they've seen me with you or any member of the BarStarz would reach out to me just because I was around you guys. And there was a lot of people. So I was like, like the community that you built is so huge. It's so huge. When did you decide to make it a legit business, like make BarStarz a business? Because you were in school for business at the time, weren't you? In the beginning.
You might be overselling that. I did a semester. and then I realized that wasn't for me.
Mhm.
So I think I was like business, you know. My family is like, you know, have like farms in DR, so I was always interested in business, but I never like school wasn't my thing. And like I tried it, and it was just hard. And BarStarz, it was I think when I seen the fame on YouTube and just how much people are interested in it. Like first it was just a love for me, but then seeing that like, you know, like I'm not the only one that shares this passion, you know, like it's a huge passion and people really loved it. And I was like, oh, you know, I can make something from here. And I think it's no better business you could do than something that you're personally in love with. And that's what was Calisthenics was for me. So I felt like, you know, I knew the audience because I'm the audience. I
Right.
knew what people wanted to see on YouTube. I know what I wanted to see on YouTube.
So
So it was a
so
perfect fit.
so you've been almost everywhere. Like I don't think there's. I was like writing down a list of places that you've been, and it's not a short list at
It's gonna be a
all.
long list.
Yeah, very long list. But one of the very first times, well, you reached out to me and wanted, I believe it was Russia, one of the World Cups, might have been one of the biggest ones. Um, and you reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to come with you, and I told you to take Powerhouse. Right? I
Yeah.
to this day, I was like, I always ask if I made the right decision at that time because I don't know, I didn't know what was developing over there, right? And it was a way of me seeing it, but I was like, you know, I think it was more important for them to see what we were capable of doing more than me just going over there and observing. So I was like, send Powerhouse. He's doing all kind of crazy stuff. What was that like when you first got that first call to like people saying, "Hey, we'll pay for you to come out here and represent BarStarz for an event"? Like the
Yeah.
first,
So
like the first time you got that call, did you expect there to be multiple calls?
no, first of all, I mean, I was shocked. So the first one was insane. You know, I feel like I told that story on an Instagram post, but the very first time I traveled for calisthenics. It was the first ever street workout world championship, and it was like they had 10 countries, everyone from different countries, and they reached out. And you remember again, I was on YouTube all the time, so I knew these people, but like loosely. You know, I didn't. The country was called Latvia. I don't know where Latvia was at. You know, but I guess they assumed that, so they sent a map of their country with the invitation, and it was just like, yeah, we want you, you know, to represent America, and I was just like, whoa, you know, like I thought I was nice, you know, but I was like, I can't honestly say I'm the best in America, so I brought the at the time I was like I brought it to Sick With It. You remember Sick With It?
Yeah, of course.
Because that's how we used to train with, and I was like, yo, my man is nasty,
He's a wild
and
man.
yeah, and at that time in that year, I thought like, nah, he's honestly the best. But he goes, you know, I'm not going over there. like he wasn't even remotely interested. So I was like, all right, how about Juan? You know,
Mhm.
because I think it's competitive between these two. So
Yeah.
I asked Juan, and Juan's like, I'm down, but I'm not going by myself. And they're like, yo, we only take it one person. And I was like, shit, man. And I was like, I guess, you know, like I got to do it. Like you know, I was worried, I was shook, but I was like, yo, this is an obvious next step, you know. And so I sucked it up and I went. They got me the ticket. And at the time, I don't know if you remember, Hitman was beefing with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
I'm,
insane. So they're like their whole time leading up to it, he's like, you know, he's slandering them. And I was like, fuck, all right. But you know, I went and then I remember I had a layover and just everything was so like I was so unconfident in everything. Like even the layover, I was just like, what if I get stuck in this airport? But a dude was really nice from Queens, a Polish dude. He was like, yeah, just go here. Then I make it to Latvia on this small ass airplane. Everyone's white but me. And I get off and I grab my bag and I was just like so scared, like shit, man. Once I leave this airport, that's it. But I stepped out and they had signs that said, "Hey, Edward," and they were so nice and so kind and like you know, like yeah, I've never, you know, like I don't know, like I never experienced something like that from someone that I never met or someone I've only communicated through emails and shit. Like
right.
that's people like I felt like I known them from years, you know, and then let alone like I got there late, so the other people were already there. They took me to the restaurant. Once I got there, I see these people I've been seeing on YouTube for years, like Alexander from Russia, Ether from the Ukraine. And I'm just like, holy shit, you know, like it's like a youth reunion. So after that, it was just like it felt at home and everything feels like that. Like kind of like now, like when you see somebody that does calisthenics, you feel like I already know them a little bit, you know?
Right. See, and that's the crazy thing about this community is that as friendly as we are online to each other, we meet each other in person. It's like 10 times more. Right? And it's weird. It's still, is it still weird? Because I know you still take these trips. Is it still weird that like you haven't met some of these people, you talk to them online and then you meet them and it's the same energy?
Yeah. No, it still is, you know, because New York sometimes really ain't like that. So
Not at
it
all.
feels
Not
like,
at all.
yeah. So you feel like you like in a frat or something, you know, like a secret club, and it really does feel warm, even if I never spoke to somebody, if they out here hearing some type of freestyle, I feel like, yo, I could bond with this dude. Like, you know, what's up? You know, I feel like the conversation kick off when we get to know each other quick.
Now there was an event where they had teams, like they had a team USA. I think they had guys from the West Coast also. It was I think there was Tavish Strength on that roster for that event.
I'm not familiar with the one you're talking about.
The one
I've seen two or three. I think the one in Kingdom of Bahrain is that one in the Middle East.
no. This was a earlier one where they like
In Russia,
yeah, yeah,
I think I seen
yeah,
that one. I wasn't a part of that. Who was a part of
yeah.
it though?
I think was that Chris Harrow, was that one?
No, you're talking about the one that was separated by countries. It was like
Right.
it was. I think that's even before that. That was like I think Zeph organized that one, and I think
Oh,
it was
okay.
yeah. That's real throwback.
Right.
I think I
Because I
remember that.
remember.
It was like four people from every country.
Right.
Damn,
Right.
that's so throwback that I don't know. I remember vaguely what you're talking about.
Yeah, because
Uh,
like I brought that one up because I always found it interesting that they would like invite the U.S. to the event, but then it would be people that never trained together.
oh
Like
yeah,
there'd be like a guy from Miami, a guy from California, a guy from Brooklyn, and they never trained together. But everybody they're competing against have been training together for months.
yeah. I
Which
can't
was
I can't really speak on the team one because I don't know. I know a lot of the single ones were like World Cups.
yeah.
And what they did was they grabbed the winners, but the winners competed as individuals. You know, they weren't ranked as a team, and that's one that had Harry. I forgot who else. Yeah, so I've never been involved with the team once.
The one that you had on the
Yeah, yeah,
FDR part. Yeah, was that
one of my
that's the
favorites.
first? Yeah, that was the first one in the U.S., right?
Yeah, the first World Cup.
World Cup. Yeah, that one was crazy.
Oh,
And
it had like real like high energy. It gives you like some underground like. I feel like it's even you can't even remake that now. You
no,
know,
no, it's
like it felt
different.
like raw. Like yeah, that shit.
So so tell
I'm
me
happy I was there for that.
so tell me about the difference with freestyle then compared to now. Because
Yeah.
you did well. First of all, you did reps and freestyle back in the day. I've seen you
Um,
compete at five
I'm so
Bs.
happy you said that.
Long. You competed long. First of all, you competed at the MBXA. So if anybody competed at MBXA, you had to do both at MBXA.
Yeah.
That was the standard. You had to be able to do both in MBXA, and you've done both and competed in both. So, but freestyle specifically, how is it different compared to then?
I feel like parkour and free running and tricking elements really took over the show now in calisthenics. Um, Also, I feel like there's a lack of uniqueness, you know? Like I feel like it was really like when you mentioned the way the dips with the girl on my shoulder. I was like I stood there and I watched all the MBXA videos and I just sat there with like a blank mind, like yo, I had to come with new shit. And that wasn't the only new thing I did there. I did a whole bunch of new shit. I don't remember, like, you know, like I tried, but like that was an active part of the routine. It wasn't how hard the moves were exclusively. It was how hard are they, but has no one ever done it before? Like I gotta let people know, like, yo, I'm the first to do it. And I see that very rarely now, you know. Now it's a lot of emphasis on how hard the move is to pull off, and then just I don't know. Like I was judging a competition, and someone fell like a couple times during their round, and then someone didn't fall, but had a easier movements. And then the judges split. I gave it to the guy who did the easier movements. The other two gave it to the guy that that did harder movements that fell, and the guy who did the harder movements is like, yo, why you didn't vote for me? I was like, you fell, like, so for me, it's like the presentation is super important, and that's a huge part. Like, it doesn't. I think now it's just the difficulty of it, and it's like, yo, there's like some beauty aspect to it. Like, like it doesn't look good. It doesn't matter how hard it is if you're just like crashing into a bar. It doesn't look good, And I
Yeah,
feel like that's a nice part of it.
yeah, I agree. I agree with that because yeah, like I said, now they're doing a lot more difficult moves as far as the statics goes. There's less emphasis on the creativity part. Like it will make you an individual. They pretty much want everybody to do the same thing. It's pretty much like gymnastics, basically. And I would really like to see a competition where that creativity is highlighted again. Somebody that has a move that everybody else can't do, or
Yeah.
or some little element that they add to something that most people can't do. Like I think that's lacking, and it's gonna go to the wayside. But I think that part is truly missing. That's like
Uh,
part of the essence of calisthenics. I
it
mean,
made it so
freestyle
exciting
calisthenics.
to watch. It was just like, all right, what's homie gonna do? I was like, oh shit, I never see somebody do that. What is he gonna do? Oh, I never see somebody do that. Oh, what is he? But now it's like, it's difficult stuff. It's some stuff I can't do, but it's still like it's some form of the swing 360, a shrimp flip, and then it's just gonna be some type of repeats of that. So I
Yeah.
think the judging system should definitely take into account uniqueness and creativity, even if you have to outweigh it over difficulty. In my opinion.
If there was a contest where everybody was allowed to do whatever they would like, who from the old school would destroy everybody right now?
If you're allowed to do whatever,
Where if you just allowed to go crazy with your creativity. And I'm saying old school just because this is like there was a break somewhere down the line. Everything changed. Just more statics.
so you're saying who's the nicest with just creativity?
Yeah, who was one of these people in the game that you always did excited, you always did something amazing and was always unique?
For me, it was I always said this in the Rip Right interview, Brock's bartenders. I remember watching them. And it sucked because they had some type of rift and they took down their videos. I was like, damn, why he did that? But I
Yeah,
used to watch that before I hit the park. It was four different dudes. All of them had different stuff. And it was just like they had a video of like a 7-minute video and every movement was different. And even to this day, I was actually just in Tunisia and I showed the guy like that. It was like a clap where you both clap each other's hands over the pull-up bar. I've never seen it before. Like, I got that from bartenders maybe a decade ago at this point. And
right.
it was just like they hyped me up hard because it was just like four different people with just crazy, and it was like like crazy ass styles, and it was dope.
That
Uh,
aggressive style. That was that Bring the Goons Out
yeah,
song,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. And then you put it to that song, it's like, nah, I can't control myself. I got to go to the park right now. I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
if you want to see what I'm talking about, you can still find the video, but it's just horrible quality now. It's like at
Right.
360p.
It's true. I brought that up because when I think about that, the people that from back in the day that would not destroy, but would like really people like Chris, Hera, Juan, they always come to mind because like Juan always pulled off something that nobody else was even going to try, you know, and like Chris's energy and things like that. Even what's his name that does the parkour, who teaches parkour,
Oh, Vert.
Vert. Come on, man. Like Vert and people like Sock Soul and these guys, they don't get the light that I think they should because they let them dampen their creativity because they want them to do the statics. You know,
Yeah.
and I think that should change. Now that said, you haven't hosted many events. Why did you like step away from hosting events?
It's a lot of stress, man. It's like it's one of those thankless jobs where it's like, shit, man. I sit here, I put my head down, I grind hard, I put my own money into it, and then sometimes you end up arguing with people, and it's like, damn, like it's fun, but it didn't seem feasible, when you look at it as like, time, energy, stress, and money invested, and just to get really nothing back or even negative sometimes, and then I even have some people, you know, like be mad at me, and it's just like, what? And it's like, bro, like if you know how much energy I put into this, so
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it. But I'm much better at attending events now than you know. I'm good at coming through, doing some of the workouts, sliding, making little jokes, come back, hit some more workouts. I'm much better at that than I am at hosting, or at least, you know, I definitely find more fun in that.
Well, I always thank you for coming out to my events because trust me, I know that feeling. It's a huge undertaking to put together an event. Even the Miami Pull Up Jam. Shout out to Alexia for always representing and holding that event down because that's
She works
always my
so hard,
highlight.
so hard. She works, you know, and
Trust me.
yeah,
It's like you
like
said, it's almost a thankless job because at the end, nobody remembers the organizer.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, some people will argue with you about a trophy or whatever, you know. Like even if you don't charge, if you host a competition, definitely charge an admission fee. It don't matter who complains. People gonna complain anyway. I hosted no admission fee. People complain to me. If you host a competition, get your admission fee.
It's so true. It's true. It's better off. It's better off that way. Now, a couple other things that BarStarz has done, like halftime shows at NBA games.
Yeah.
Uh, America Got Talent, Ninja Warriors. I mean, is there any limits? Like, how did you even approach the NBA? Did you just apply for it?
So the crazy part is like I started off super hungry. Like I was just like, every moment of every day, I'm doing something, moving BarStarz forward. So I'd reach out to people, I'll do stuff, and then after a while, you get the snowball effect, where shit just kind of happened. And the NBA thing was just something that Alexia knew someone. I had nothing to do with that.
Mhm.
Alexia knew someone. She organized it with him, and then she got the Miami crew. I think Stephen Hughes Landers from the UK flew in, and I wasn't even there. I didn't even get to see her. I seen her on video. I forgot where I was. I think I was in Europe or something, and they killed it. It was an amazing thing to watch.
Yeah, that was a cool event. I got invited to that too, but I was like leaving Miami the day before or something like that because I was gonna go attend, but I think it was like like a day or two after I left Miami that it happened. But that was pretty cool. You did Ninja Warrior also,
Yeah, yeah.
but you did
Again,
the
crazy.
trials, right? You did the
Yeah,
trials.
yeah, yeah. Amazing experience, man. I would love to do it. Like it's rare that as an adult you get to like feel like a child, and I feel like American Ninja Warrior gives you that.
You,
So I'm super happy I did that. It's one of my favorite moments of life. Even though I didn't go far at all. Like if the videos on YouTube, I fell at the fourth course, but you see everyone yell at you, and you're like mad tiny on these big ass stage. It was dope.
you did the trial in Miami.
Yeah, the first year was on NBC. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, it was
Would you
sick.
would you do it again?
Yeah, I mean, of course, like it was free, so I do it a million times. And the joy you get from it was like, wow, like some stuff be a task, some stuff be a chore, but that was like really fun.
Man. So I'm going through some questions here. I haven't even looked at my sheet yet. I'm just reminiscing on some old times we had. But I'm gonna go through my questions real quick, short and sweet. No, first of all, right? A lot of people ask me a lot of questions. Of course, how do you do muscle ups? When I put up like ask questions, ask Ed some questions. Let me make it very clear to everybody. BTX is available right now. All of these questions can be answered if you just log on, subscribe, download the app. It's probably, I think you have probably one of the most complete programs when it comes to calisthenics or fitness in general. Like, I mean, he breaks down literally everything you could possibly think of, and he still has nutrition available. So that was a quick plug to BTX.
I appreciate
And the
that.
BarStarz website, please log on. This shirt, of course, I got this one for free because I stole it from Rick. Is all. Yeah. So, you just recently came back from Tunisia, and it's funny too because like I reached out to you and I was like, wait a minute, this dude is not even in the States. So you're still getting these calls. You're still getting these calls. Go out to fly out, and that was a commercial. I mean, a show for a show.
Yeah, it's crazy because like 3 years ago, I said, yo, you know what? I want to stop traveling. I want to get my life in order because like people see on Instagram, like these people that travel all the time. I don't envy them because it's like that you have nothing stable back at home. It's impossible to have a relationship. It's impossible. Like like I wanted to buy a house. You can't do that if I'm gone 2-3 months out the year doing. So I was like, yeah, I want to cut back on traveling. But then it's like I still get amazing opportunities. So it was like this came up, and I was like, how could I not go to Africa? I've never been to Africa. I gotta go to Africa. I gotta throw everything to the side and see what happens. And Zachary, who's now a friend of mine, is developing a TV show for their network. They only have 10 TV networks there, and so we're gonna be on one of them as like right now is like we did I guess part 1 of season 1 where they introduced the characters of the show, me being on it, and me being one of 6. And then the actual first season is going to be like a game show where 20 competitors try out to be the 7th member of the team.
Oh wow!
And so yeah, I should be going back out there, and it should be like a game show kind of thing where these people do challenges.
So you're expected to get another trip, a couple more trips maybe.
Yeah, hopefully I become a cast favorite or something. I got the Tunisian flag on my head while I was there, so hopefully people are like, yo, bring the guy back with the Tunisian flag on his head.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's pretty. How long was that flight?
We took 6 hours to France, 6-7 hours to France, and then 2 hours to Tunisia. And then his place isn't at the capital, so we had to drive another hour or 2.
Wow, that's a long trip.
Yeah, it's a nice little journey.
I saw One Leg Beast was out there with you.
Yeah, I was good people.
And it's funny too. I think I met One Leg Beast the same day that you met him for the first time, which was in Miami. Yeah, Miami. Like when I was signing his leg. No, he signed his leg.
We actually spoke about that there, and he was just like, "Yeah, the first time I met you was there," and that accident happened to him a year before that. And I was like, "Yo, I didn't know that." I was like, "So I knew you like a year after that happened?" And he was like, "Yeah." And
wow.
it's wild, crazy. It's just like, yo, how much time has gone by since already?
Right. So, what was one of the craziest stories? I don't even know how to word this, but like, one of the craziest meetups that you've had, like either traveling or people that you met that thought were one way or another way. Because you could probably go down the list because how many places you've been in general, but like one of the people that you met.
I got some insane ones. Like really, like I couldn't imagine being like a full fledged celebrity. I'm like a celebrity, and I got some crazy shit. But one of the craziest ones, I was in Finland with Ona and I think Chris, and we're doing workshops. So we did one, and I was like, all right, let's go get something to eat. So we're going to like this cafe, and we parked Ona parks the car, we get out the car. So we got the car, there's like 4 boys and 3 girls kind of walking. This guy just starts yelling, "Oh my God, you're my hero." And then like he crouches down and bows on the floor, and like everyone's looking, and I'm just like, I was just like, yo, thank you. Like, I'm honored, but like, yo, it's some crazy shit. You're like, yo, yelling at the top. And he was just like so shocked. I guess he didn't know I was in Finland. And it was just, I guess it must be really random. Some guy you see in New York be in Finland. Right. And yeah, like it was so crazy. I just tried to cut it short real quick. I was like, hey, good to meet you. Yeah, people like 2 blocks down going, what's going on? It's a very quiet society. He's out here yelling at the top of his lungs.
That's I know you signed way too many autographs. Does that get weird? Does that get weird when people go actually for autographs?
Oh yeah, I mean even the first, yeah, I mean it is crazy. It's crazy because like you don't see it, especially from here, because like I go to the park and I put a camera on the tripod, I press the button, but bam, like if you're someone in Hollywood or something, you got a whole cast around you, trailers. For me, it's a camera and a tripod, and then I'll go home, I edit it, and I put it out. But then you don't really feel the fact that that's going out to so many people, and so many people are just waiting to hear what you have to say, and it's a huge honor, and it's just like it's almost like unbelievable, because I grew up like humble beginnings, so I never thought that I would go from there to like even people would even care about asking me to sign anything,
And people have gotten tattoos. The BarStarz in their hair, in their haircuts. Like what do you say to them?
It's hard. It's hard, really, to be honest. But yeah, there's a couple. There's literally over 10 BarStarz tattoos out there, and
Wow.
it's. I mean, I'm so happy that I was able to spread something that I was really passionate about, and really spread that to other people. Because I still remember like seeing the first muscle up, and I was just like, fuck, like it almost changes everything for you, And then the fact that I could be that, or BarStarz could be that for other people, and it has been, is amazing. It's like wow, I'm happy. I'm very happy, and I'm blessed.
I can remember one time there was a guy in Miami. He flew in from Illinois, I believe, and he was sitting on the wall. It was before one of the pull-up jams, and he's sitting there on the wall, and I see him. He just can't stop moving, and he keeps turning his head, keeps turning his head. So I got to set up right in front of him. We start putting bags down, start setting up the tent. So I was like, yo, like, what's up, man? He was like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? I was like, you look waiting for somebody. He was like, I'm waiting for Ed. I was like, which Ed? He was like, Edward Checo. I was like, you waiting for Edward Checo? I said, oh, does he know that you're waiting for him? He goes, no, 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 no. So he said, I know he's gonna be here. I said, how do you know? He said, because I follow him on Instagram, and I saw he was on the plane. He's gonna be here. I said, yeah, you're right. He's gonna be here. He goes, you know him? I said, yeah, I know him. And the look that he gave me when I said that I knew you, it's like he wanted to get my phone number, my email address, just in case he didn't see you. I was like, no, trust me. He's going to be here. I guarantee you he's going to be here. Yo, you showed up and went off to the side somewhere. You was talking to somebody. And the guy came up to me and he was behind me. And somebody was like, yo, this guy behind you is trying to get your attention. And I was like, yo, what's going on, man? He said, did you see him? He goes, is he here? I said, yeah, he's right over there. Yo, he ran over to you so fast. I had to stop what I was doing to make sure that he was just gonna greet you, because he ran over like he was gonna beat you. But he ran up to you, and I remember seeing him stop, and he walked over to you and introduced himself to you in the most calmest way, said hi, whatever else, and then he walks over to me and like grabs me. And he's like, I just met Ed. I was like, where was that energy when you met him?
It's wild that I don't even know this story at all. Like, this is the first time I've ever heard it.
Bro, it was the craziest thing to me, because all of that energy that he had when he went up to you, he was just like, hey, how you doing? My name is such and such. And he shook your hand. I'm like watching this from a distance. I'm like, what happened? Thought he was going to like tell you his life story. And he came over and he sat back in the same spot, completely happy that he met you. I was like, I'm scared. I don't think I want to be you in that sense, because your level of fame still amazes me.
I used to love it when I was a little younger, and I have these first dates where I go to the park. They're like, yo, you F from BarStarz? I'm like, yeah. I don't get it as much as I used to, though. I don't get it as much as I used to. I gotta get back on the YouTube grind.
So that was one of the questions too. Everybody's asking for more YouTube videos.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Like when I look back, I was really I had a bad work-life balance when I was putting out all those videos, and I think I could definitely get back on it. But back then, it was just like all I did was film, write the story for the next video, and then edit, and then repeat that, and that was my whole life, and then it took me far. It really did. It changed my whole life. But at the same time, it's kind of like, damn, I don't want that to be my story to the grave. So I definitely want to get back on YouTube videos. And I really enjoyed the podcast, because I got to scratch my own itch. I got to hear answers to questions I genuinely had. So I want to go back to that format of videos, but also when it gets warmer, get different athletes again and have them show workout routines and tutorials. That was also another cool aspect. It's kind of again, answering my own questions by having a visual format. So it's on my to-do list. As a whole bunch of other stuff, I'm always grinding, so it's just I'm lacking on the YouTube grinding, but I'm still out there. I'm still trying to, make the most out of my life.
So one of the things that you've been doing that I've been paying attention to, and I know my boy John is on here is paying attention to, you've been dabbling in real estate.
Yeah, I actually spoke to John about it a couple of times.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, so how has that been? How's that process?
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm actually gonna get another house soon. I buy houses down in Florida and I convert them into Airbnb rentals. And I'm actually thinking about releasing a course on that just to show people how to do that.
That was
Because
gonna
it's
be
kind
my
of like
next question, bro. Because I mean,
yeah, my plan is for this next one, I'm gonna try to document the whole process from start to finish, and then put that out there. You know, like if you follow me on Instagram, I've done it on stories, like some of the how I find the houses, how I fix them up and stuff. But yeah, that's something I'm actually really passionate about. Uh, yeah, it's cool to like be good at multiple stuff, and I'm really happy that I got good at taking videos and creating content and doing calisthenics, and it's just another tool to a tool belt.
yeah, I mean, I truly appreciate the videos that you put up, especially in the stories when you see before and after, even when you redid the bathrooms and the bedrooms and everything else. It's inspiring because that's something that I want to dibble and dabble in also.
You
But
got to visit the next one. You and John come through.
no, for
Oh,
sure,
you know I'm
for sure.
coming. You know I'm coming. I ain't playing no
It's gonna be
games.
it's gonna be like March, April. Hit my line for sure.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
before we get off that topic, I wanted what was the point that made you transition to that? What made you say, like, okay, you know what? I need something else. I need to go into real estate.
Yeah. So for a long time, I had this idea. Um, I had the idea that I wanted something firm, but again, like I was telling Q, I was traveling so much that it's almost impossible. You know, like you can't buy a house from a hotel room in Germany, and even the house I first bought, I was in China during closing. So it's I really wanted to slow down. So I had the mind for a long time, and then actually, so I knew I wanted to do real estate and get houses, and then Rick was involved in Airbnb, and he told me how everything set up from his end. Here in New York, and I was like, wow, that sounds like a great and easy business model. So so now I put that together with me wanting to get a house, and then I just learned a lot. There's so much information out there, just like if you want to learn how to do the muscle up or the pull up, you go on YouTube and I went and I jumped head in. I listened to podcasts, I watched YouTube videos, and then with all the information, I made notes. I was really like, how do you say it, hesitant to pull the trigger because it's so much money to get started. But I was like, nah, like once you run the numbers, it's a solid. Like if you run the numbers 10 times and it gives you the same numbers, it's like, oh, it's a no brainer. So I booked a flight. I actually went to Florida to Kissimmee, and I had a bad realtor. So uh, it didn't work out, and then I landed in a different city in Florida, and yeah, I never been there before I bought the house. I did it all from online, ran some numbers, and it worked out. And I got my second one last year, and hopefully to get my third one this year, and at least average out at 1 or 2 a year.
If you come out with a video documenting that, giving people advice, I'm sure the same amount of people that pay attention to your muscle video might want to pay attention to this. 'Cause I know I will, because I dabbled in it a little bit, but not as much as you do. But it's definitely some one of these things, like you said. As soon as I realized that I need to push back away from this a little bit, that's definitely something to get into because real estate is always a good investment
Yeah,
if you do it wisely. And I know
yeah,
John
yeah.
agrees with that because into it heavy too. But so how many people like help you with BarStarz as far as the videos goes? Because I know you usually do a good amount of the footage, and you're in a lot of the footage. Is there a team behind you?
Yeah, so it varies. So it depends when exactly segment of my life you're talking about. So there was a point where it was just me. I filmed, I edited, and then yeah, then there was a point where it was like, okay, like uh, let's have like some type of staff, and then like so again, you mentioned I went to school for 1 semester of business, but that wasn't enough to teach you how to structure a business, and I really, like I'm upset at the American school system. They don't teach you how to structure a business. So at the time, I didn't know how to scale. I didn't know how like I probably could, if I go back in time, with the information I have now, I could have, put out even more videos at an insane rate, because I was doing everything myself. I was taking the whole burden. At some point, I had a videographer. I mean, someone record, and I had someone else edit. And then at one point, if you guys watched the BarStarz channel, even recently, it was Samer Delgado was the host, and someone else filmed it and someone else edited it. So I was pretty much completely separated from it. So I guess it varies. And then when it came to the podcast, um, my boy Sean filmed it, and then yeah, I had someone overseas edited it.
Now the podcast, how did you pick your guests for the podcast? Or did you have like like with me, I just want to get as many of the people that were there from the beginning first and then work on everybody else. Because right now I have people messaging me like, yo, when am I gonna get on? I'm like, not yet. Not yet. Time's coming. I'm gonna go through a lot of people, but like what was did you have like a plan as far as who to get on and everything else?
I did. My thing was really selfish, you know. Like I answered. The podcast was a experiment. Like the podcast was for me, and
Mhm.
I hope other people benefited from it, you know. So when I had the carnivore guy on, I just wanted like, yo, you know, like this dude's fucking. I mean, he's ripped and holds world records, and he eats nothing but meat. Like, you know, I want to hear more about this. Or then you hear like I had Dr. Joel Furman, you know, like he talks about how powerful fruits and vegetables were. I'm like, yo, I would like, you know, I have my own personal questions. Like, yo, do you think uh, how bad or disease related to our diet? And you know, that's a genuine question I had, and I watched interviews with him when no one else answered. And then I have calisthenics people on that I also had the question like Beast and his workout routine. You know, like you know he'll give like answers here and there, but you know when I have him in front of me, I could ask him, and then I could ask him a follow up, and I could leave there like, okay, I have no more questions for Beast because I got them all out of my head, and
Right.
that's how I chose the guests. I try to find people that I had questions, and sometimes I didn't know the person, but I'd figure out that they were an expert in the field, like an expert in nutrition science. I was like, okay, so this guy seems like the most qualified to answer my question. Let's get him on there and shoot at him, you know.
And was it easy to get them? Just reaching out to them, especially the ones that you didn't know.
Yeah, I think when you have a platform, it makes a lot of sense for both people. Like, you know, I again find the content and also information, and people want to get their name out there. A digital footprint is so important now, 2021, that you know it'll almost be a bad decision to say no to go on a podcast or a YouTube video that has a fan base. You know,
That's true. I have
so
to.
it
I have.
wasn't hard. It was more hard like syncing calendars, you know, because I my thing was based in New York, and I was trying to do everyone that was going to be in New York. So sometimes I hit somebody up and they'd be like, "I'm in California. I got no plans of being in New York," and they'd be like,
Mhm.
"Oh, damn."
So you, for the most part, you've left most of your life for everybody to interpret. Even your diet. For a period of time, you kept changing your diet, and you would let everybody know how the progress was and everything else. Are you still doing that? Are you still sharing that information?
My diet or general information
Just
about my life?
the diet part.
No, so I definitely go through segments. I've tried every diet, you know, and I'm happy I documented it, and people seeing my body change through low carb, keto, or I went fasting heavy. I went vegan for a little bit. I went pescatarian. Um, Now, personally, I'm trying to cut again because I always pick up some stress weight when I hit Florida and hit the Airbnbs. But I'm back in New York and I'm counting calories. I'm not doing anything fancy or special. I feel like, again, from the information I gather from my podcast and reading and learning, I'm just tracking calories and keeping protein max for 1 gram per pound of body weight. And yes, sir. And after that, I think that works along with the time, and we're good to go. In a couple months, we'll simulate lean out a little bit.
So you still offer free classes every Saturday. Well, when the weather's when the weather's nice. What made you want to keep that going?
I think it's like a multi-answer for the questions, but one part was that it was like a way to give back to everyone. So BarStarz, you can see in some of the old videos we did raise money for breast cancer, we raised money for AIDS Walk, we did charity water, but then it was always like, you know, like it was again another organizing thing that was like, okay, let me do this, do that. I felt like giving free classes indictment was like a very easy thing, and it was like a 2 for 1 because now, you know, I get to train, and I think a lot of people agree that you don't really get your furthest unless you could train with other people, and that was a point where it was just like, you know, I wasn't training with no one, you know, like sick with it. I think moved to New Jersey, and then some of the other a lot of the Barstool people like Juan and Joel, they all live in Brooklyn, so they wasn't coming uptown really to train. So I was like, wow, this is a cool way to meet like younger people, and of course I'm better than them at first, But then you start showing them stuff, and it's like, oh, you know, like now they putting it on me. Now they show me this. Now I gotta try that. So it's like, you know, it was a way to challenge myself, give back, and we always did a group class, but at first we charged for it, like the first 2 years, and this is like so long ago. But I remember I went to Norway, and Ahmed and Team Physics did a free class, and they had like 100 people in the park, and they was explaining how he gives back to people like that. And so that was another answer to the question. I was just like, damn, you know, we already do a free. I mean, we already do a group class we charge for. We just make it free, you know. Like, imagine how many people's lives would change, you know. And then sometimes at the paid class, people would show up who didn't have money, and it was just like watch. And I was just like, nah, it's a no brainer at this point, you know. And I'm glad we did it because I've met like, some of my closest friends now. I met coming to that park, you know. Usually when people see me, if you see me with people, I met them at that park most likely, just from the group class.
Wow. So what do you say to somebody that comes to the park that says they want to be a BarStarz?
Yeah, I feel now just show up, train, and you part of the crew. You in there, you know.
So it's a community feel. You show up, you work out, you feel you adding positive vibes to the
Yeah.
environment. You're good to go.
Oh yeah. If you haven't been there at UQ, you've been there a bunch. It's like it's a whole vibe, you know. Like it's not just working out. You working out, you cracking jokes, you chilling, you playing dope music. Even times we had side games where we're playing football. Like it's a whole like it almost feels like PAL when you were a kid. It feels like recess. It feels like that last day, field day at school. That's what it feels like. And to be an adult and have that kind of moment, you don't really get those that often anymore. And I'm very happy I'm able to get those with me and my friends every weekend.
That's true. Do you still watch calisthenic events?
Nah. to be honest, like I don't even watch fitness videos, you know, like you gotta really force me. I feel like a lot of fluff and a lot of things, but especially in fitness, you know, like you watch your calories, eat your protein, work out, rest, and you'll be all right. But you know, you can't make a video every day about that. So it's like you get this huge amounts of fluff and for me, I don't have that interest anymore of obsessing over fitness videos and even calisthenic events. Like, yeah, like I like being there, you know, and but it's more like for that community feel, you know, I get to talk to my friend I ain't see in a year, you know. It's like I go, some people I only see at calisthenic events, you know, because they busy, I'm busy, and this is like kind of like a party, like a get together, you know, and that's a whole vibe for me, and I'm cool with that. But I don't really like, you know, keep up on who won this or who won that. Maybe like the day of, maybe a day after, but after that, it loses my mind.
Do they still call you to judge events?
Yeah, they do, and it's an honor. But then it's like sometimes you get people that is like entitled to, you know, it's like, bro, like your shit, your event, like 3 hours away, you're gonna rugged and tight there, and it's like, nah, you know, like so. Yeah, and I still judge. I don't have nothing against judging. It's just it depends. It depends. It depends on the day. It depends where. It depends how, who, what, when. All that goes into effect.
You've done more than most of us would ever dream of. First of all, because I would say, because like I said, you've traveled more than most people have. You competed and organized more than most people have. Like you get to take a break.
Yeah.
but then your break is not even a break technically because you're still involved. You know, you're still involved. You're still the website, still going, still have merch you got to take care of.
Yeah.
You guys are still building content for BTX also, right? Hi, John.
I'm not making new content right now for BTX, but we have a community on Facebook where people who subscribe get like, you know, consistent information, and it's like a little online community. So I'm active in there.
My bad. I was trying to get the BTX stuff, and as soon as you said it, and it kind of got me. Carry on, fellas.
What's one of the biggest success stories from BTX?
From BTX?
Yeah.
So many. I can't think of one specifically now. I know we ran a contest of like who was the best of three, and it was like an older, bigger gentleman, and he lost a ton of weight, and that was huge. but I don't do him justice because I don't remember the name or the amount of weight. But hopefully, I can send you the pictures and videos after. But yeah, we changed a lot of people's lives overall with BTX, and even people who never got BTX just from BarStarz.
Yeah, I've seen those, and that's a lot of the people that I've communicated with, the people that, like, you know, were happy with the fact that they just got involved with BarStarz. It was funny because they would just refer to it as BarStarz. They would say, "I got better with BarStarz," and I was like, "Yo, that's a beautiful thing," you know, because what it all encompasses is fitness and nutrition. You know, and they just followed everything that you were saying and what you were putting out there, and it was enough to change them, even just with the YouTube videos. And they would say, "Yo, I got this stronger, I got this stronger, I got healthier." Guy told me that he was diabetic, and he used the program to get better. And I'm like, and they would always say, "I use BarStarz," and I was like, "Yo, that's a huge sales pitch right there." Just use the name, you know, the name itself. They know BarStarz. If I wear this shirt on the train, there's never been a time that I've wore a BarStarz shirt or hoodie on the train where somebody would always ask me, "Yeah, BarStarz. You were BarStarz, or you just bought the shirt?" And I was showing a picture. I was like, "Nah, I know them. So like, I think you are in a position where you like hide now. Are you glad that everybody has to wear a mask so you can hide a little bit, even though people still recognize your eyes?
Nah, I think what be messing me up though is that when I go to work out, I be looking extra bummy. You know, like I'll let if I don't got nothing to do, I don't get a haircut. I got this haircut because the podcast. I got some sweats. It look like I got some stains on them, and I just like, damn, this is the worst time for someone to recognize me. And you be seeing some people like give me stares. I was like, shit, man, I hope they don't recognize me off YouTube. I'm here just looking extra peak level bummy right now.
So, what do you think is the future for calisthenics?
That's tough. That's tough, but I don't know if I'm equipped to answer that, to be honest. You know,
just based on what you've been through. You've been all over the world. You've seen what other cultures see when it comes to calisthenics and where they're going with it. Where is it? Is it going to continue along the same path with just everybody popping up out of the woodwork, making YouTube channels, competing in contests, the same contests? What's next?
I think
More the
that's it.
same? More the same, or
I think it's gonna stay like this, like subculture, you know, just under mainstream where people like. I think of it like skateboarding, you know, like people go through it, but it never gets like the peak level. I mean, even skateboarding got the video game eventually, and Tony Hawk became a household name. But I always think it's gonna be like a subculture kind of thing where it's not super mainstream, and it's gonna rule the internet like Reddit and all the other internet trends.
All right. So where are you in all of this?
Calisthenics?
Yeah. No, just as the culture changes, are you going to continue to kind of like stay a little bit away from it all, or you're just waiting for the next thing to spark your interest to jump and get involved in?
I think I'm in this nice healthy middle, you know, like I'm not as obsessive over it as I was years ago when I first started. But you know, I know a lot of the people. Again, I feel the vibes, and I continue. You know, like this dudes I up to me when I studied comps, and they were like, "Yo, I've been watching you since elementary school." So it's like first, it makes me feel really old, but still, it's like really cool, you know. And I hope that I could be that. You know, like I hope I could be like how I was when I came in and I seen like bartenders. You know, like and I'm not speaking about any specific bartenders because you know, like if you look at OGs and calisthenics, a lot of them used to be bartenders. So it's this big umbrella. And when I came into it, you know, keep mentioning the Bronx bartenders. I looked at them like, holy shit, it's so cool. And I got to meet them. I thought it was dope. I hope I could be that for the next generation or even the current generation. Calisthenic generations move fast. So I hope I could be that, someone where they could look at, appreciate the contribution I was able to do and still be like, you know, loosely involved while still having my life going.
So when you first started, right? I should have asked this first, but when you first started, did you want to become? Did you immediately think I should join a team or create a team?
Yeah, I thought I should join. think I remember it being a discussion, through John and Tony. I was like, oh, but I felt like, again, I didn't feel like it represented, like, up here, but if there was a team already in Washington Heights, it probably never would have been a BarStarz,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And you know what? That's something somebody asked me too, is that if there was a team where my local park was, I might have joined that team, but there wasn't. We were at the time the top guys in that park, so we had to be creators. We couldn't be followers. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Follow somebody to just say, "Hey, I just made a shirt. I just learned to do a push-up." That wouldn't be right. If you're the hottest thing in the park, it's only right for you to start the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we always leave with a question as far as for the fans, like giving them a gem. Since you like to share your diet so much, what did you suggest to people that want to lose weight, gain muscle, and they're looking at a bunch of different diets? What do you suggest to them?
I think something, and again, you guys, if you followed me for years, you know that it took me a lot of tries to learn this one. But you will lose weight and you will gain weight based on calories. So now, if you're vegan, you could lose weight. You keto, you could lose weight. If you watch the podcast, there's several carnivores on there. They lost weight, and like I always get these people that would say, I went vegan and I lost weight. My cholesterol got better. My blood pressure got better. My acne got better. My asthma got better. And all this whole list of symptoms, But really, it's associated with you losing weight. Because you look at the same person who was vegan and had all these success stories, you'll find a carnivore on the internet who had the same success stories, but they did it by eating meat. And the thing that they have in common is losing the weight. So when you lose weight, no matter how you do it, you're going to get healthier, especially if you're overweight. Your things that directly affected to your diet, like high blood pressure and cholesterol, is going to improve if you lose weight, no matter how you lose it. So if I had to give someone some advice, is track your calories. If you're trying to gain weight, eat over your maintenance. If you're trying to lose weight, eat under your maintenance. Instead of picking something like veganism or more or keto, unless if you're a vegan because you believe in the efficacy of animals, then you do it. But if you're just doing it just to lose weight, again, just track your calories and center it around foods that you feel like are good for you or that you like or enjoy. Like if you like popcorn, you can lose weight and eat popcorn. Just as long as you track it. If you eat again that's 300 calories from popcorn, eat the popcorn. It's more important that you eat the popcorn while losing weight than you try to be on some strict boiled potatoes only diet, and then you crack one day and have 4,000 calories of butter popcorn just because you deprive yourself from it for so long. So bring balance into your diet and make that a key aspect, something that you could do, 5-6 years. Some people go vegan and be like, yo, never eating fried chicken again. It's like, really? For the rest of your life, you're not eating fried chicken? Or they'll go like, I'm going keto. It's like, for the rest of your life, you're not gonna eat bread? The rest of your life. And does it start sustainable, And you could go to my YouTube channel and catch me testing all these things out. I've done keto, I've done vegan, I've done vlogged it. So I'm talking from a place of experience, I've lost weight all those times simply because I was in a deficit.
Yeah, I mean, that's about the best answer. I know you was gonna give that answer too. Caloric deficit. If you don't know about it, look it up. It never fails.
It's like sexy though,
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It's putting a number on it. 21 days, 12 days.
Yeah.
No,
it's a
lifestyle.
And shit. Yeah.
It's a lifestyle. It's lifestyle. Detoxes and all these other things are temporary fixes and resets. It's more about thinking long term. John, do you have any other questions before I go into the rapid round real quick?
No other questions right now. I'm enjoying this. Thank you.
I have one other question, right? This is a personal question. You can choose to answer this or not. I wasn't scared. That's what
the best intro to it.
Now, if anybody watching, right, look at my nose. Notice how it goes off to the left or right. I can't really tell. I notice you have the same.
Yeah, you about to make fun of my nose on YouTube?
Yeah. Is it a deviated septum that you have?
I never got to check. I got punched a lot. I think.
Yeah, I
So
see. That's what I'm trying
I,
to. I'm trying to figure out too, because mine is slowly but surely going off to the right.
did you get
And
an X-ray or like an MRI?
no, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Well, you got that.
I've always had sinusitis, which means I breathe out of only one nostril at a time. So like about 12 hours at a time, I'll breathe out of only one nostril, and I'll sneeze when it switches over. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know if that's the reason why my nose is tilted to the side. I boxed also throughout the Navy, and when I was younger, I was wondering if might have been that I got it, like, you know, got hit hard enough that it switched, but I might eventually get it checked out. But I know you
Yeah.
did martial arts back in the day. Maybe somebody choked you.
Now my martial arts was relatively light, and I got early into the philosophy of I'm not a fan of sparring because like sparring puts you in danger with like not a lot of benefit to it. And you always get that experience where you spar with someone who's like really like doesn't know how to spar and they're going 100%. It's like, damn, bro, like I'm down to fight to the death, but it's like I'm here coming in here thinking just go 30% so we can practice the technique, and you're here swinging my head off. So I've never been a fan of sparring, but when I was younger, I fought a lot, and I just always thought that happened because of that. But I never like looked into it. It never pained me or nothing. So
Yeah, because it
I just
didn't.
kind of
Because I just know that it happened. I just noticed it after like the past couple of years. I noticed it. I was like,
yours.
that wasn't always there. No, yours.
Oh,
Yeah. No, I was
I
like,
gotta
wait a
look
minute,
back.
that
I gotta
wasn't
look
there.
back, because
Yeah.
I got that comment as an adult. I don't remember anyone ever saying that to me as a kid, but I found you're the third person to mention it. So, but at the very first time was an adult. They're like, hey, it's a crooked a little bit. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
And I didn't ever notice it myself. So when I forgot what it was when they mentioned it, I started looking in the mirror. I'm like, oh shit, my nose is a little crooked.
Right. I mean, I'm eventually go get it checked out. When I find out, I'm gonna call you first.
Yeah, now I'm
Yeah.
interested. This is the longest conversation I ever had about it.
Yeah. Because I saw, like I said, I just noticed it. I was like, his nose is moving the same way mine is. That's kind of weird. But that was my weird question of the day. Is there anything you want to leave with? Any message you want to convey?
I think if you're going mad hard on calisthenics, take that aspect and apply it to everything. Like people look at the muscle up and go, "That's so hard," and then all of us watching, all of us listening, we looked at that muscle up the same way. Like, yo, it's hard, and you had to work to get it. And I think don't stop there. You could apply that to everything. Like we have such a short life on this earth. Jam all that through it, do everything you ever wanted to do, accomplish everything. People that have accomplished great things are no different than you and I. Same body, same whatever, just go for it. You only live once, and I hope that you guys, whoever you are, you make the absolute best of it. And when you lay in bed in the last 90th year of your life, that you look back and just absolutely proud of everything you did on earth.
But that's about the best way we can end it. You only have one. You only have one life. You might as well make the best of it, man. And I say this as a friend of mine passed away yesterday. So rest in peace, Sebastian. This week, shout out. But Ed, it's always been a pleasure, man. Always been a pleasure. One last question: did I inspire the beard?
I always wanted a big beard. And I was on this long-term relationship, and she was just like, always, no. And I was like, damn. But then when we broke up, it was like, okay, I could grow a beard now. But it's hard you're definitely up there. That group had a sick beard. Then you always see the movies, like these epic movie characters had these big beards, and I had the genetics for it. I would just cut it down, Like some people can't even grow a beard. They'll come out spotty or whatever, So I always had the genetics, but my girl at the time was like, "Oh, it itches her face," so I was like, "All right, let's cut it down." But now I love it, Now if I cut the beard off, I did it like 2 years ago, and I looked weird as hell. I was like, I'm keeping the beard for life.
That's the catch. Once you cut it, you look like a different person.
Yeah, I was like, Yeah, I look straight up weird. That's the way I would describe it. Like the beard's for life now. You can argue the length, but the beard's for life.
Bro, like I said, it's always been a pleasure, man. Since day one of my favorite people to deal with. From traveling to Miami, which is still one of my favorite stops on the tour. Miami is always a good time. Just the extended BarStarz family, still my close family to this day, man. And I appreciate everything you've meant to me in my life. And I look forward to everything else you have planned for this world. Because you already left us plenty.
I appreciate that, Q. For real, for real. I appreciate
Always
that.
learning from you, bro. Always learning from you from day one, man. Always learning from you.
I appreciate
you like one of my OGs and you're younger than me. John, you got anything else for me?
People don't know. Q's the first one to do that backflip, yo. BarStarz took it and ran with it, but we watched Q do it over at the Hannibal video shoot.
Oh yeah, that's when I told Juan. I said if I'm doing it, I gotta add something to it. So he had the double clap. I was like, that's what's up. Take my little one move.
That shit, it was sick at the time, you know. Like if you go back and think, you're just like,
bro. I still tell people when they do it. I said if I don't hear the clap, it doesn't count.
Oh, I had the structure to do it. You know, like I couldn't just do it. Like I had to. Some of my sessions were me having my hands on the parallel bars and just sinking into it. Because once you work out too much, that should be hard to clap behind your back.
Oh yeah. True. You tell it. I gotta warm that up for sure.
Yeah.
John, you got anything else for us?
No, man. I want to say I appreciate you, Ed, for coming on and just giving us that last statement was a phenomenal culmination because you've taken that same theory and applied it to your life. So when you say it, we could actually see it in your life. What you did with real estate, what you did with BarStarz, how you continue to take the same effort. You came back and you said that, school wasn't for you and you found what it was that works for your life. And that is the most important thing that anybody can do is God has given you breath. Figure out what you're supposed to do with your life and your purpose. And it's an honor to be around somebody like you that's found their purpose and using it to better people and to encourage people and to show people that, look, man, no disrespect to the school system, but you don't need a diploma to be great. So I love what you did. I love what you stand for. And as always, we appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thank you, John.
Absolutely. So that is Edward Checo, the founder of the global phenomenon, which is BarStarz. This is CCA Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. Ed, thank you for your time once again. And this is probably one of 2, 3, 4 podcasts. This is just the beginning of all of this. We just waiting for the world to open up and get healthy. But in the meantime, we can still reach out to each other, show love. Appreciate you, brother, as always.
Always. Thank you, Q, for having me.
This is you watching the CCA Podcast. This is Q France for my bad, John. We about to sign off. You about to say something there?
No. I'm as soon as we start off, I'm gonna stare in the mirror my nose.
Yeah, we're gonna go find out what's wrong with our noses. This is Q signing off. Salute to you all. Everybody be safe.
Peace.